Sorry it took me forever to upload this video. It actually took me forever to get to a point in the video that I felt comfortable enough to upload it. We're actually going to look at the last zombie game. It was about time. We're going to look at the DayZ. DayZ is actually a mod for the Arma 2 game. Arma 2 we actually did a month ago, and if we remember, it actually was played at the lowest possible resolution, 640 by 400. The game actually played good. We were actually even had some of the textures and object details in normal instead of actually having low or very low. And to be fair, even though you have a little wiggle room to actually lower those settings to get a couple of more frames per second, the frames per second you will gain by just lowering that will be maybe one, maybe two at the most frames per second. So just leave it the way it is if needed. If you want feel lucky, you might even try to up those settings, but it won't make much of a difference. Upping them, it will actually start. You'll start bleeding frames per second, and I wouldn't advise it. Um, I tried every other resolution here or options, and I'm telling you, if I had a video that was actually 800 by 600, and it was awesome in the sense that in a few places it actually have gone down to 15 frames per second, and I was happy. But then I went to another town, and the frames per second dropped to 11. So I said, no, that's not this. At this resolution of 640 by 400, we actually had good frames per second. They stayed constantly between 20 and 30 frames per second. They went all the way to the 50s, but they will all usually stay around 20 frames per second itself. The lowest in this video was 19 frames per second. It was just a blip of a moment. I actually did have one or two in the 2 or 3 days I was playing. I had one or two dips to the 13, 14 frames per second, but those lasted like for an instant. For the most part, the game actually always played at 20 frames per second, and it actually played good. Will it help you in PvP? No, that's different. It's possible, but for PvP, it might be too slow for you to be able. You might just get hammered because I actually tried it, and um, I just felt that for PvP it was way too slow for me. But for co-op, because I was playing some co-op before this, and for co-op it actually was good enough. I didn't seem to have a problem of it anyway. Anyway, the game looks very good at this frame rate. Remember the size of your screen before you think that for the actual resolution is way too low. Um, so it doesn't look that bad. It does kind of remind me of retro games in a way because it looks a little blocky. But after killing a few zombies, I didn't care. I was having fun and I had fun with it, so it was fun enough. Anyway, it's actually a fun game. People who play it all the time will tell you it's a very fun game. Hopefully you guys like it. If not, let me know. Have a good one.